day masculine man, take one.
What makes a modern day masculine man? When you drink your liquor straight, a modern day masculine man. I pay all the bills and I tells my woman the truth. Got my shit together, do what I wanna do, say what I wanna say. I won't break you, or not me, and I am not you. I kept it real, so now I can do what I wanna do. Modern masculine man. Welcome to Man School.
Welcome to the Modern Masculine Man Podcast, Mitch. Woo!
What up? How you doing, Miss Carla?
Hello, handsome. How are you?
I'm excellent. Can you hear me good?
You already know what it is. We're back.
We're gonna already do how we do. We're gonna ask the audience if you can hear us good. Give us a yeah, so we know everything good. Mr. Lee said we ready, so I'm assuming she hear us. But you know how I like to start off. How your week been going? It's Wednesday. I've had not a difficult week. I ain't gonna say challenging. I've just had the week I've had. But how's your week been going?
Listen, I've been doing excellent. I feel really good. Definitely. So how about you? How have you been?
I've been good. I had to handle some stuff out at my job that I don't know I can handle a couple of days this week. I was a little upset because I had,
take us there, won't they?
Yeah, I had tried to say, make it clear, these days that I do my podcast on, I'm unavailable. But sometimes you're the only one that can handle shit. So I had to go out there, and I'm a little sad. I missed Monday and Tuesday. I missed Monday with Chris. I missed Tuesday with Trav. But we here tonight, and we're gonna go ahead and get it in. So how is the page going? The Ranting, Raving page?
We're building it. Again, I'm really wanting to make sure that we have a lot where we're building it and we're making it resonant, because I don't want us to just be ranting and raving, but I want there to be a love, and I want it to be our people.
Yeah.
So I want there to be like an impact, to where we're not just building just a page, but we're building a community. Because you and I we're not the average Joe Schmo. We really have something to say.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy because we called it Ranting and Raving. And that's when I thought it was going to just be me yelling and screaming. But we actually not ranting and raving. We up here kind of just chilling, laughing, having a real discussion. So, you know how I say, go ahead and set us up. What we talking about today? I looked at the flyer, but I didn't look at the actual information. I don't even know if you sent me the information. Okay, yeah, you did. So let's go ahead and get into this thing. What you got for us today?
So the title tonight is She Left the Fantasy She Was Fighting to Keep Alive. And of course, this is incentivized by my book, She Left Anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted you to gift me with your take on some things about how women have a tendency to get into their space of when they're fed up, and then they make their moves, and yet the man doesn't have the knowledge of it. He usually has no awareness, or if he does have awareness, he feels like he'll downplay it, like, well, that's just women. Yeah. And then he won't realize how, just downplaying that's just women. Yeah. Walking out of the door, how oftentimes he feels like, I am so hurt.
Like he was ambushed.
Yes. I thought that everything was cool, but now I'm finding out she left me in this bind and I wasn't ready for it.
Well, it's funny. Oftentimes I have a saying, heck, I forgot my saying while you were talking. Men want women to listen to what we say, but women more than likely look at what we do. You know what I'm saying? Men say what we mean.
Right.
Women look at what we do.
Yes.
Women never say what they mean. They want you to watch what they do. So it's kind of like, and I equated it to this. It's not negative about women, but as a man, your word has to be your bond. Because back in the day, they weren't signing contracts. A lot of men couldn't read a handshake. That's why they say your word is your bond, meaning real life. Like, you know, when you buy something, you get a bond. But they say your word is your bond. So the fact that you said handshake, $5 an acre, that's what you said. And the crazy thing about it is everybody toted a gun. So men couldn't walk around lying and just saying shit. So it's like he say he gonna sell me the acres for $5 a land, $5 an acre, and it's like, well, he lying. I told him 5 1/4. He'll pull his gun out and shoot him. Some bitch called me a lie. His word is his bond, and men went by that. Men went by that. You playing cards, you call a motherfucker cheater. Hold on, motherfucker, you better watch your mouth. You call me a cheater now, because my word is my bond. So men say what we mean. And watch what we do. I'll give you an example. I'm dealing with a situation now. I'm doing reflective discourse with this sister. The man is telling her, I don't want you to be my main woman. I don't want you to be my main woman. I have other women, but I really like you, right? He's telling her this, and she's telling me he's always bringing up, reminding me that I'm not his girl, but he got me over his house all the time like I'm his girl. He's doing girlfriend stuff with me every day of the week, but he's telling me I'm not his girl. Why is he doing that? I said, well, he's liking you more and more and more, and he's doing it, and he's joining you, but he's letting you know you're not my woman. So she like, well, why? Well, he ain't doing what he say. He is doing what he say. You just happen to be winning more and more times since you started. You used to see him once a week, you know, and that ain't my woman. You ain't my woman. Now I'm over here 3 days a week. Now he got me over here 6 days a week. I'm over there cooking, cleaning, you know what I'm saying, being in a home, and he's still saying, but he ain't acting like I ain't his woman. I'm like, you're going by what he's doing. Go by what he say. His word is his bond. And whereas on the flip side, women tend to say, you ask them what's going on, they ain't saying nothing going on, and then all of a sudden your ass left, and you said, baby, goddamn, you done left me. You seen how I was acting? You couldn't see how I was acting?
Right.
Well, you were saying one shit wrong. You couldn't see how I was acting. You couldn't notice the signs. I come home and go straight to the bathtub and take a bath, and you know what I'm saying? I've been in a situation with a woman, seemed like every time when I got to the house, she was in the bathtub bubbling with the champagne, almost like, Calgon, take me away. Now, I'm very inquisitive. So once I noticed like 2-3 times, I'm like, okay, this bitch taking a bath every time I get home.
You pay attention to what
So I'm like, okay, if she's taking a bath every time I get home to avoid fucking or avoid being with me, and it's like her bath is so important. So it's kind of like, leave her alone. So I'm getting in 6:30, 7 o'clock. She in the bathtub to 8:39, running water. So finally, you know, I said, okay, look, I've been asking you something going on, saying nothing going on. I said, but you're taking a goddamn bath every night like you're trying to avoid me. You know what she said?
What?
You hit the nail on the head. Oh, so you are taking a bath every night so you can avoid me. You hit the nail on the head. Well, check this out. I bet you when you get in your bath tomorrow, I won't be home. So most men don't understand that women want you to watch their actions. They're never going to tell you. They like, shit, you couldn't see it. You can tell. So that was just my little take on that. I said a lot, but I know.
But I love what you said because you advised some really powerful things. First of all, you said something that was powerful. The first thing you said was you noticed and paid attention.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's not a lot of observant men. Some men think that as long as they're in the house, they don't have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Just being there means I'm with you. And so they don't have the observant, pay attention to her patterns, pay attention to her actions, pay attention to if her words match how you're being treated most men don't think the way you do, but again, we've done your living soul, so we understand that you have a different masculine makeup. So
Yeah.
you do observe and you do pay attention, and it works to your advantage. But what I love that you said is she's doing this to avoid me.
Yeah.
And then you, in your own unique way, let her know I'm peeping you, I'm paying attention, and I do notice. And you express to her, is this your, am I, in what I'm seeing correct?
Is this what you
Or
really doing? Yeah.
am I off? So now the ball was in her court. But a lot of men don't do this, and they just say, oh, that's just women.
Yeah.
And it could still be going over there and being avoided and never find out the truth.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Exactly.
you nailed the damn nail on the head, because you were like, hold up.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not gonna
doing
keep
some
coming
different.
over here.
You ain't been taking baths. You know, I come over 2-3 days a week and kick it.
Exactly.
Now all of a sudden,
It would have been different if she was taking a bath and you knew, okay, after this bath is done, she's meditating, she's glistening, she's doing her spa night, because after the bath is over, I'm going to be tended to like a woman normally would do.
yeah, I found myself coming over because I had a key to her house and everything was going so great. I found myself coming over,
Right.
cooking, you know, because she loved for me to cook, and I would just wait, you know, like wait. And I'm like, okay, I get here at 6:30, and
Girl, please.
and it's 8, 9. How are you in the bathtub this long? And at first it was like you could watch some movies or watch a movie. I'll be out. I just been stressed this week. I'll be out a minute. Put my food in the microwave, and I'm real
Ooh,
particular about
we're
once
gonna
I
get some
cook.
good, we're gonna get some
Yeah,
good on this tonight, because
yeah.
what
And
you
once
just
I
said
cook,
was
eat my
powerful.
food hot. Eat my food hot. I don't like nobody to eat my food warmed up. So it's just a situation where,
Right.
as a dude, I saw that, I peeped it, and I understood it. But I know a lot of men don't peep shit like that, and they kind of get ambushed, and it's like, damn, I didn't even realize. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even in my marriage, sometimes I sit back and I was thinking about the subject we were talking about Monday, and like you said, the fantasy. Sometimes I look at my marriage and I look at my wife, and it's like she never stops moving. And sometimes I feel guilty. I ain't gonna lie. And sometimes I'll say, Chris, chill. I'll help you with that. Some shit that I don't even want to help with, like folding clothes, or you know what I'm saying? Some stuff with my daughter. I be like, I'll help, because it's like I realize the fantasy of a woman is juxtaposed by such a harsh reality. There's on such a far down the spectrum. It's like the woman is concerned about the wedding and how the wedding is going to be and how many people. And then all of a sudden, when the marriage hit and life hit, the woman never stops working. Like, I come home when I get off, you know what I'm saying? Right now, I got a third shift gig, you know what I'm saying? Not hard at all. But when I get off, sometimes I'm tired. I get off, me and my wife go to the Y together with my daughter, trying to socialize her. We go to the Y together.
Right.
After I get off, I go work out with my brother. Then I drive home. We go to the Y. When I get home from the Y, I'm like, okay, leave me alone.
Right.
And she's still doing stuff. And it's like, it seemed like a mother's and a wife's job never stops. So that whole I'm finna be married and have this fantasy life and this beautiful wedding turns into, what the fuck? Why is he able to come in the house and go straight to eating his salad, and I gotta work with the baby 30-40 minutes, feed her, and then before I can eat, I'm tired just like him? And sometimes I'll notice that, and she be always be like, I'm good, but I always try to stay up on it and help out some. Or even if I don't help out, always say, baby, thank you. Do the way you do this, you do this, you do this. Always praise it, because I'm like, man, it seems like a woman job don't stop. You know what I'm saying? I literally can shut down when I get ready in the house. Don't bother me. Tell the baby don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? But they don't get to
Can we
shut
be
down.
honest for just a second about what you just said? Because you said a mouthful in how you relate to your wife when you come home. can we be honest for a minute that in the fantasy that we have been handed down, this I want you to understand the handed down version of what love is supposedly going to look like in the woman's mind before she even gets with you.
Yeah.
Remember, I told you on the last time we met up that I looked at a man's physique, handsomeness, his being, his avatar as how I was going to be loved.
Yeah.
Remember, we laughed about it because I said, "Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Siobhan, like
he looked like he romantic. He looked like he would be gentle. He
and
looked
I
like,
only and I must say I only like handsome men.
yeah.
So that's just what it is. I don't compromise it. It's just what I come from. It's my pedigree. It's how my family is. So it's just what I can't help it. It's
Yeah.
just what it is, right? So in my fantasy version of what I've been taught, what I saw on soap operas, on movies, in books, and everything else, I've always been taught that I'm going to be all he needs.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about him doing anything or wanting another woman or any of that. Oh girl, everything. You'll be his everything. Mind you, this is something that's real. This is trickled down. I'm being
How
honest.
women really feel. You really
Yeah.
feel like women be feeling, well, shit, you're a woman. You went through that.
Yeah, ladies can chime in. There's a lot of times we've been taught that we are going to be his everything. But here's what's deep, Javon, that nobody talks about, and I'm going to bring this up. Yes, I love handsome men. I love being well treated. I love men that care about me and give a damn about who I am. And once they get to know me and I give them access to me, I love that they care about, well, man, you always, like you said, you strategize, you're a thinker, you do a lot.
Yeah.
But outside of that, what I'm really moved by from men is this. A man will come into my life and he will show me, like, the truth of the matter is you will be cared about and treated well because of the fact that I care about you.
Mm-hmm.
The treatment you're receiving isn't based upon what I look like.
Yeah.
And that is the facade I had to get out of my head, because I thought for many years that the well treatment only comes from handsome men. It only comes from men that, you see what I'm saying? I'm thinking,
yeah, like he know how to be romantic. He didn't have.
I'm only going to get romanced by a man. He's going to pull up in his Lambo and pick me up. And, remember the kit car back in the day. So if he had a Corvette or anything close to that, that was good.
Firebird.
Pick me up. He's going to take me to the 5-star restaurant. All that's silly. That's in your head. Once you get in a relationship and you get into the real and the raw and the true and the for real solid care from someone, you realize that all that facade and fantasy really is something you have to divorce from.
Yeah.
In order to really learn how to authentically care for the man in his human being and in his living soul. So now I have to learn how to love a man's soul, which is invisible. But what is visible is his treatment. Wow. I didn't know that it was. Now, see, your wife said she thought the good treatment came from the unattractive men. So
yeah, I guess because he's unattractive, he's gonna do more. And
these are all means of how we are taught to find ourselves being moved by certain men or what we're attracted to based upon what we experience.
And it's crazy because it ain't no right way to think.
But there isn't.
But it ain't no right way to think, but it's a wrong way to think.
Divorce from the fantasy. That's the first thing.
It's crazy because, like, as I sit here, there is no right way to think, but there's a wrong way to think. To just think about that at all, to create an image, because it's like, me as a handsome man, people don't realize being handsome, it kind of spoils you, but it also makes you expect more out of life than you deserve.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And especially with women. Oh, I'm beautiful. I should have a nice house. I should have a nice husband. I should have this. You know, being a handsome man, I feel like a handsome man in my own way. I feel like because I'm handsome, I ain't taking no shit from no woman. I leave a woman where she's standing at. So it's the exact opposite for me. Now, and so I would say your theory is wrong. Thinking a handsome man gonna treat you great because we got so many options. And what Chris said that the unattractive guy will bend over backwards for you, you
Right.
would think that she's right, but really it's just case by case situations.
Case by case.
That's why I
And
said there
again,
is no right way, but there's a wrong way.
that's so powerful. Yes, I'm so glad she came from a different perspective, but her solidity of what she's saying is still powerful because we have a fantasy. So we're thinking, well, and I'll just speak from Chris's perspective. If she's like, well, I'll give me an unattractive man and take that as a sacrifice and then expect this well treatment and find out sometimes the unattractive men are more, check this out, they're more conceited because what they end up doing is get their body buff,
Yeah,
or get their money right,
yeah,
or have this high esteem, affluence,
yeah,
get a real popular position, and then you can't tell them their shit don't stink.
yeah,
So now you're thinking, well, he's an unattractive man. Yes. However, he has already raised his bar, or should we say his stock.
yeah,
His stock values increased because he knows I'm not that handsome. So let me get my body right. So let me get in that gym and let me have so many, I'm talking about so many muscles, she's just not going to be able to be like, oh
Yeah.
my God, it's amazing. Or let me get my money right. So anytime we go anywhere, no, I might not be all that physically, but she's going to get whatever she wants. Whatever it comes into, she's going to get it.
Or he turned into a clothes nigga. Just clothes, always jewelry down. You know, it's funny
Yes.
because, you know,
Or smells good.
yeah,
That cologne or whatever.
yeah.
Yes.
Life has its way of kind of both genders mind, because it fat and ugly, man ugly, woman fat, it kind of go together. It's like being fat, it's like a woman being fat is like a man being short. But the funny thing is, we expect fat women to behave a certain way. We're like, hey, you fat, you got to be sweet, baby. You can't be, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm joking, but I always say bring back bullying, because bullying stratified society. You stayed in your place. If you was a certain level of ugly, you didn't even try to go around the attractive people. You didn't try to put your ugly 2 cents in. But see, in this world we live in social media, you can put your fat 2 cents in, you can put your ugly 2 cents in, you can put your unpopular 2 cents in. And what's happening is it's like a group think. And I call them the reject Avengers. All the fat women get together in a group and they decide what they're gonna attack. So it's kind of like you have this fat club that's walking around acting super dope like Lizzo, thinking that they deserve something that they don't deserve. Whereas, like you said, with a man, no, I'm ugly. I got to get some money. I got to get some muscles. I got to get some status. Whereas a woman will say, well, you know, it's crazy because it just hit me.
You know who's a great example of a heavyset woman that changed her trajectory is Lizzo.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because it just hit me. A woman thinks she deserves something regardless, because that's what makeup is for. A woman can't look at another woman and say, she's prettier than me, so she deserves a man. So let me go enhance my beauty because I feel like I deserve. Let me enhance my body. You know what I'm saying? A woman can't just say, hey, this woman got a sweeter body than me, so men gonna like her more than me. She can go get her body done. Whereas a man say, look, that big, tall, handsome motherfucker gonna get all the bitches. Let me go get me a nice car. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why I said makeup is it's hitting me like I'm having this epiphany. It's almost like she's prettier than me. She has nice lashes naturally, so I'll get some fake lashes to match up with her. I'll contour my cheeks to match up with her. I'll do my hair like this to match up with her. I can't accept the fact that someone else is better than me, so enhance myself. That's why you have a situation where everybody walk around looking the exact same with the exact same enhancements, because it's like, wow. And meanwhile, women like you, like my wife, the women that aren't trying to enhance themselves are shining through like a motherfucker. Right. But the women, until you get a man, it's like, well, I got to keep looking like this because I got to look like I'm in the competition. Yeah. Some women will look at you and say, shit, she don't even look like she care about getting a man no more. And you like, I don't. I really don't. And that's why I feel like I feel and I can look like I look.
Right. Exactly. But I love that point. And again, always remember that one of the powerful things about our podcast that we bring up is most of the time when we're in desire for learning about someone else, we realize that the point is we have so many things going on in our hearts and minds that we have to first divorce in order to get the best experience while we're on this planet.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we're in love with the fantasy, Javon. And the biggest problem for me, I had to divorce that damn fantasy. I'm telling you. Yeah. I can't help that I love handsome men. It's not going to change. So what I've learned to now do is embrace the handsome men and realize that in the handsomeness, let me allow them to show me who they are in their living soul, in their human being, and in their treatment. Even if there's a disagreement, how is he handling the disagreement? How does he handle a disappointment from me? How does he address me or say something to me or pull me to the side on some shit? How is that addressed? Because now his handsomeness is coming from his inner being. He's already physically handsome. But when a man pulls me to the side and says, hey, man, when we had this going on, I didn't really like that you did X, Y, and Z. Can you curb that? Can you change this? This is not something that's becoming for you, as an example, certain things. I can be more in honor of that way of receiving a chastisement or a disagreement, or even shedding light on something that's not a good thing to be doing, as an example, from a man that's going to be more authentic, but at the same time, he's coming from a space of, I'm not so in awe of his handsomeness that I can't express or accept his true authentic self, his true living soul, because I'm so caught up in the version of who I think he is. Based
my
on
wife,
my fantasy version in my mind of who he is.
It's funny. It's funny. I definitely get what you're saying, because my wife always associated me being handsome with being cool. Like when I met her and I would come home, get off work, I would go to work fresh every day. And when I would get off work, I might have to stop by her salon and pick the boys up. And when I come in, it's like I could tell all the women was like looking like, what this motherfucker gonna have on today. Right. And so she would be so proud and happy. And then by the time she get home, I done took my work clothes off and I done been outside playing football with the boys, or we wrestling or some shit. And one day, she was just upset, and I said something. She was like, why can't you keep your work clothes on? And I want to come home to you looking handsome and smelling good. And I want to come home to you being sexy. And I was like, it's two boys in here. I'm playing with, wrestling on the floor. And she would be like, but you be so silly. And I said, the same man that you're calling silly, that's the thing in me that can go outside and play with your kids. That's the thing that I can play games with your kids and be a good father. And you looking at me like I'm supposed to be this James Bond motherfucker when you get home from work, still sexy. And you know what I'm saying? And I was like, that's fucking crazy to me. And she really didn't get it until, as a man, I know how to communicate. I said, the guy that you're saying that's laughy, jokey, not sexy, That's how I'm able to be a good father. That's how I'm able to relate to children. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's when she realized, like, damn, that's crazy. What she probably dated men before that were cool or this that won't into the children. You know, I was always into the children, so I was like, okay, you not walking around even at school when I'm teaching, and all the little girls like me, Mr. Clark, we like your slacks, Mr. Clark, you so handsome, and all the female teachers like me. I can't relate to my students walking around being motherfucking Mr. Suave.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like you said, that expectation in your head of how you think a person should be based on how they look. That's fucking asinine and totally ridiculous.
It is, Javon, but it's hard to divorce from because it's been passed down and it has been an acceptance that we as women have accepted as okay.
Yeah.
And then we have to get away from the acceptance, and then we have to come to terms with reality. And in reality, we have to divorce the so-called image of what we think a man is supposed to be doing while in our life. You know, with Miyagami, I bring this up a lot.
Yeah.
We have these versions of men in our mind that never add up to the perfect man that we think exists.
Yeah.
It's not real. But we swear by it in the mindset. So in order for us to truly understand, learn, honor, cherish, be upfront and accountable to real men, we have to sit down for a second. What you mentioned earlier was when you as men make agreements, you shake your hand.
Yeah.
Your word is bond, right? A lot of times with us women, we'll say a lot of shit and none of it matters.
Exactly.
It just doesn't matter, Javon. And so, unfortunately, I was raised by a father that was military.
Yeah.
So I couldn't just say any old thing to him and get away with it. So I was raised different. However, in my relationships, though, even though I had a dad that made me accountable and all that, even then, I still had to have my own understanding and reconstructing of how I was relating to the man I was involved with and learning to become accountable, even with having a father example.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to make it clear that, yes, I had a father that was 110% involved and all that, but it didn't make me perfect because I still had to do some changing. I had to do some evolving. I had to learn how to be accountable. I had to start to fall in love with. The word is my bond shift. And that's not easy as a woman to fall in love with. So if I say something, I can't just say it and say, yeah. Like, wait a minute. You just told Javon you're going to give him something. And it's now 5 o'clock and you haven't handed it to him yet.
And you don't feel like it now, you know.
Yeah, as an example, like our advertisement. When I said, oh, shoot, Javon, the day got past me, you know, I'm on it. Like, give me a second, I'll be on it. And if it was like 9 o'clock, we'll say 8:30, and I still never handed it to you, you'd be like, what the fuck? You told me you were going to get this to me. And this was 2 o'clock. I reached out as an example.
Especially when somebody is always sharp. And that's why I said, as a man, you have to notice women. If women always sharp about this, and this, and they start getting slack on it, you know what I'm saying? Something is going on. They may not want to say it. Like I laughed my wife real quick. She said, I thought she was tougher because she was from New York. I did. Like, you're from New York. How are you this sensitive? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, as a man, when someone is used to doing something and you're used to that and they break schedule, you got to notice it. But also on the flip side, like you said, don't just say some shit, not realizing how you feel. Like, 12 o'clock, you feel in a certain way because you saw me on a video and I looked handsome. You're like, when I get home, I want some of that dick. You know what I'm saying? Now you got a man's mind program. Then when you get home, you're tired, you don't feel the same. And the man been hard off and on all day.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Think about fucking. And then
Exactly.
you get home and you like, well, I feel this way. I feel this way. It's like you got different men that cheat. You got some motherfuckers that just cheat regardless. They don't give a fuck. They gonna cheat every blue moon they can. And then Shaq said you got James Bond cheaters that go out of town. You know what I'm saying?
Shaq
Ain't
is one of
nobody
my favorite
around.
people.
They
Love
hit
him.
a little something and then they come home. He said, but then you got that man. That
Yes.
man is being told often that he gonna get some and he don't get none, and you tired. That man said, "Fuck it," you know what I'm saying? So it's a situation where it's funny because talking about accountability and that right there, leaving that fantasy. I was talking to this sister and I got a bar. She said, he talking about the guy earlier, and I said he can't make me do nothing. I said, well, you over there? I said, he making you come over 5-6 days a week. Said he ain't making me do nothing. He can't make me do nothing. And then later on in the conversation, she said, he don't fuck around and get serious and make me his woman. He gonna make me cheat on him. So I said, I thought you said he can't make you do nothing. Then I say, oh wow, y'all lack accountability so much that a man can't make a woman do nothing. But if she cheat, he made me cheat. You know what I'm saying? Like it's he made her cheat. He can't make her make a sandwich. He can't make her do a goddamn thing. He can't make her clean up. He can't make her get purpose. He can't make her go back to school.
He made her cheat.
But he can make her motherfucking cheat. You see what I'm saying? So that's where you were saying, and I say the silence that women go with. Shh, shh. Then all of a sudden she cheating because he made her do it. I remember my wife used to come to me every now and then, and I joked with her. She said, "Can we talk?" I said, "No, because it's some dumb shit. Because you wouldn't come and ask me, can we talk? Right. You never do that. People, you don't walk up to me, can we have a talk?
Can we talk? We just talk. We don't have to have a greeting to talk.
Yeah. Or practice, can we talk? And I'm like, no, it's some dumb shit because you don't come up to me and say, can we talk? And then be like, what we eating tonight? If you saying, can we talk? You're saying subconsciously, I'm finna say some shit. That's some bullshit that's gonna get on your nerves, or some shit that I ain't even sure if it shouldn't matter. Right. You know what I'm saying? When Lynn was here, she said something one time, and Chris agreed with it. It was so real. She was like, a lot of the times I'm nervous because the thing that I'm coming to you with, I already know it don't matter. You know, women already know in their mind, like, this some bullshit, but I'm in my feelings. It's like, I give you a perfect example. Nicole Ari Parker. What up, my life in the shy? Nicole Ari Parker is married to Boris Kodjoe, rich and famous actor. You know, I don't know if he's rich, but we're assuming the man then got some money. He's like the handsomest motherfucker on the earth to women. And he got that light-skinned look. He's French and German, so he looked like he treated a bitch good. She said on their live on Instagram, it was a couple's Instagram. She said on her live, I miss being single. Caught him by surprise. You could tell it caught him by surprise. They've been married this long. He said, well, why you miss being single? She said, because I miss somebody coming up behind me, tickling me in the kitchen. She missed being adored. She's like, you don't slap me on the ass when I walk by like you used to. And it's like, oh, really? We've been together 25 years, right? And you talking about you feel a certain way or you miss feeling attractive. That's the type of shit a woman coming to you and say, can we talk? Can we talk? What's up, baby? What's going on? You know, you don't be hugging me like you used to. And you know it's and by the time the man said, baby, well, I get up and go to work at third shift. You be going to work we don't even see each other like we used to. Our life didn't change, and you talking about some goddamn hugs or slapping you on the ass.
Can I say something about this?
Go ahead.
Very common, Javon. And I remember telling you a long time ago that I have the writing on my wall to expect nothing and appreciate everything, because these are very huge problems in the mind of the woman. Is that the man version that we started with isn't normally going to be the man version you end up with, or the man version he is today isn't the man version he was when you first met him.
Yeah.
The problem is we never give an allowance of him to show you, well, what is it that you like about it? Like, I really like when he came up behind me, or whatever the fuck she's got in her head, whatever fantasy that drummed up in her spirit.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. However, what is he doing right now showing you he's still into you? Because he wouldn't still be there. Let's keep it a buck. Can we? Men have different ways they show women they are into them.
Mm-hmm.
And women miss all the clues because they're so infatuated. And I'm talking about infatuation is a very light way to put it.
Yeah.
They're obsessed with the way he used to do everything. And this is why I wrote the book, She Left Anyways, because I want men to understand that a lot of times you men don't understand that women are still stuck into the version of you that they so-called fell in love with.
Yeah.
But the problem with the woman in the fall in love version of you is not a real version of who you evolve into. We evolve every single day. We change every single day.
Yeah.
Your body changes. I'm talking about all of us change. However, why is it that we never sit back and just look and say, you know what? You actually called me to check up on if I had my water out of my dehumidifier.
Yeah.
You called me. That is sexy as hell. Now a man is like, what? What are you talking? I just called to check on that. No, what you're not understanding, baby, is that that's a turn on for me, because I am now finding myself attracted to something that I overlook because I'm still caught up in when you used to pick me up and pick me up on Ontario and then take me over here to Dairy Queen. I'm still stuck in that version of you.
Yeah.
But now I'm into the new version of you where you call me and you check on the dehumidifier being full or not. Now there's a whole new sexy version of you I'm not overlooking or missing. I'm now getting back into finding out, oh, so there is ways you show me you still find me attractive.
Don Roberto, let me give you a little backstory. This is my homeboy. He lives in Brazil. I met him in Colombia, but I met him on Facebook. He said they will leave you over that shit and don't mind ruining the family and kids over that. He's expressed that, but I know some, he went through a divorce, very prosperous guy,
Yes.
good business, everything, gave his wife everything, went through a divorce, you know what I'm saying? And he actually moved to Colombia, right? And started a restaurant down there doing good. And he's not a passport, bro. He's a Georgia man, and started a restaurant down there. And, we were talking about the differences at one time in Black women and Colombian women and women of different races. And look what he just put. It's universal. I have had a Black American woman, a Colombian, and now Brazilian. They all have that mental problem. So the thing is, I laugh when people think they're going to run to another country. My granddaddy said it just as clear as day. All women are the same.
Right.
Some are just worse. Get you one that's the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to evolve, Javon. Here's what I keep trying to make sure that women start to adopt, and I'm giving the men I always give men the back pocket drop that they can take this to the bank and cash it. Men, please make sure that when you are with a woman that she's into realism.
Yeah.
Number one. And number two, that woman is present.
Yeah.
Those two majors will keep you out of the situations like this where a woman will just up and leave you and you don't see it coming.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, as a woman, we have to evolve in our realism. We have to understand how powerful it is to come to reality and understand that man is not going to take you out every night. He's not going to buy you flowers all the time. There's going to be times he might forget your birthday, your whatever exciting day you have to have, or whatever the hell. There's going to be moments in time that you got to buy your own damn diamonds. There's going to be times where you're going to have to make your own oil change appointments. There's going to be some real shit that happens that whereas you don't have to fall out of love with him, you can just give this man grace. And here's what the problem is, Javon, and most women don't understand this. Men, we never give enough grace to.
Yeah.
What we tend to do is, say for instance, Javon, me and you are together. We've been together for years. You have a phone. The phone goes off. It's some woman. I know you've had this phone for years, but I'm just going to go all off on you for the phone ringing because it's at 3 a.m. as an example, right?
Yeah.
Instead of that, why can't we as women evolve out of the madness? Because that's a madness. That's an insanity. That's a crazy that's in here in the mind. Why can't we get out of that and be like, his phone is ringing because some woman is calling him and, you know, they had some past or whatever, and chuckle about it.
Yeah.
Why is everything so dead strong about he's being taken away? He's got some woman loving him better than me or whatever the fuck they got going on in their head. Can we get to a point as a woman to where we could be like, listen, at the end of the day, I know him. He's had this phone for 30 years.
Yeah.
I know he's got friends that live in, we'll just say, in the Caribbean.
Yeah, different
Their
time
hours
zone.
are different. Maybe she's calling because it's a different time zone. Can I give him that grace, or am I going to just start going off about her being a booty call? Maybe she's in a different time zone and she's just checking in and checking on it. But we never can give a grace because we're so insecure. We're so just headstrong about wanting to beat him up.
You know, it's funny because I was talking to my wife, and like I said, we always be transparent. We was talking about our sex life, and I was telling her women have menopause and men have womenopause. That's how I look at it. Yeah. Now, the reason I said a man has a womanopause is it's just like this. Remember I said a woman is crazy till she find a man. The only thing that can make a woman sane is a man that she really loves. A woman could be totally batshit crazy and will do anything. This just me. This just how I act. I've just been like this. But when she afraid to lose a man she loves, she stop that shit and she listen. And vice versa. Yeah. So when a woman go through menopause, it's like saying, well, her hormones are saying your life ain't about no motherfucking man no more. So she kind of don't care. And there's certain things that she may not do. She may not make herself up. She may not doll herself up. She may not want to have sex naturally. So I was talking to my wife and I was talking about our sex life. And I was saying to her, as I get older, it's not even about testosterone, because any new woman come around me, I'm gonna get hard for it. And you know, because God made men polygamous. The point I was making was men self-medicate with sex, drugs, food, and alcohol. Right. So I was saying some of my sex drive that I thought was my sex drive was really a nigga just trying to fuck the pain away.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Bonding. Yes.
Yeah. So now I am so happy with life, watching my wife be a mother all over again, a new child, finances better. You know what I'm saying? I ain't smoking weed like I used to. Mm-hmm. I don't drink like that like I used to. And I ain't even getting up thinking about fucking like I used to. Right. So it's not that I'm not attracted to you, baby. I'm so happy with life that it's like before it's like life is so stressful. I'm pseudo depressed. Like I said, because we all oppressed in America, so we all depressed. So it's like, man, busting a nut. It's like every other day I gotta bust me a nut, or I beat my meat, or it's like the highlight of my day. Like I know for this little 30 minutes of watching some porn, beating off, or fucking my wife, or fucking with a woman, it's like this is gonna be some type of yeah. And now I sat back and I laughed. Cause my wife be like, you ain't got no bitches no more. I'm like, I really don't got no bitches no more. And you know, that's not like I couldn't call somebody that if I wanted to hang out, but I don't desire to hang out. My daughter got my heart. I'm so happy. So it's like having an understanding that, hey, I'm not gonna want to fuck like I used to. My sex drive has changed. Same way menopause affects in your sex drive. Not that I'm not attracted to you. I'm not needing sex for fucking self-medication no more. And a lot of men don't know that about themselves. I had to learn that about myself. Nigga, I ain't horny like that. So, and even in my perspective of how I say all men cheat, like Trav, my guy, he don't cheat. I'm believing him. I'm putting that out there. Right. I can understand how some of my perspective was because of how I am based on life. But I still think niggas cheat, you know what I'm saying? But you get the point for the most part, niggas and women cheat. Right. But it's like, it's not always because you're horny. It's like saying it's Friday. I need to get me a goddamn Chick-fil-A sandwich from McDonald's just because it's Friday. I need to do something. I need to eat out. I need to treat myself to something just because it's Friday. And so that's how I looked at. I realized, man, some of that sex shit, I ain't that goddamn horny. I'm just trying to pacify myself because my day didn't go right. You know what I'm saying? I need to feel like some good happened to me. I got my dick sucked. Had a hard day. My boss on my back. My check.
It was being more egoic at that time.
But I got my dick sucked.
But if we're honest, Javon, this is the power of monogamy. This is why I tell people we get so caught up in saying we're poly or we're mono or whatever. But monogamy allows us to evolve into our whole new wholesome sexual self.
Yeah.
And what that means is in my sexual self, I may evolve into monogamy. I may evolve into polygyny. I may evolve into just being just one-on-one or whatever. I may be any of those. But the wholesome power of monogamy is the fact that the true essence and power of really having sexual gratification is by having purposeful, wholesome, self-loving, and enjoyment in what we have and being in gratitude. Those are the main things. And when you're present, Javon, I'm finding it's more enjoyable when I'm here with you and I'm truly here with you. I'm not here with you in your presence, but then I'm still remembering what you used to do. So I'm in the memory of you. So in this, it's say for instance, in this moment, I'm still stuck on how we first met when I was on your post and I'm texting you about what I thought and gave you my 3 topics or whatever.
Yeah.
You got moved. I got moved. We got excited and I'm still stuck in that. So I never come to the show like we're in and truly be present in the now of you. So now I'm still stuck on that version of who you were when we first met. And I'm never allowing you to evolve into who you are now. And we stay stuck in this.
And it's like recreating, because it come to mind several times in my life. I've had some amazing sexual experiences with women, but it was kind of spontaneous.
Yes.
Well, it was a situation where it was like the move, it was cool. I'll give you a perfect example. This one time I was with this chick and we had went jogging, you know what I'm saying? And it happens, stuff like this happened. We went jogging, we had ran like 5 miles and we get back to the car. I had never hit it before. And we get back to the car and I'm sitting in the car, I'm drinking my water, I'm sweating like a motherfucker, she's sweaty, and all of a sudden it's just like something happened. We both caught that vibe and we end up fucking in the car, like sweaty as a motherfucker, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Got a cramp and then got out and lift the back of the truck hatch up and fuck her from the back, and we just and sneaky, and you know, it was like so great. And then it was like I was like, you know, we talked, we went on a couple of more dates. I'm like, when you trying to link up again? She like, let's go jogging like we did the last time. And I'm like, here we go. This trying to recreate some shit. Right. So naturally,
shit.
Naturally my mind is turned off because I'm like, this was a certain fucking bitch. You know, what we gonna get the same thing? Yeah. So what happened was we go jogging, come back. She trying to recreate that same shit. I get soft on her about halfway through it. Like, cause I'm fucking irritated. Like, she like, you don't like me? You don't want me? You're going down, or what's going on? Or what's up with your testosterone? I said, bitch, I'm getting soft because you trying to recreate some shit from last week. That shit, my mind been thinking about, yeah, I'm gonna hit that pussy again. Where we gonna go? What we gonna do? And you trying to do some last week shit, and I got soft on you, and you thinking it's my I got ED or something. I'm like, bitch, this is so dumb for you to try to recreate this shit. It's turning me off.
Right. And it does, Javon, because what it's doing is it's discounting and discrediting the validity and the power of the original version of the sexual interaction you had with each other. So what it is it's not, now you have to now have that every time to feel like you made it. No.
Yeah.
Allow that to be a point where we can laugh at it, chuckle at it, remember it, but never keep that as a set bar or a set tone. Because
if it happened, it happened.
Again. If it happens, it happens. We don't have to make that happen.
Yeah.
But we take away, expect nothing. What I tell you on my wall, expect nothing and appreciate everything. But the problem is we are having a tendency to be in this, I call it, it's an imposter syndrome, because we're wanting to reenact this act that we've done. And it's taking away, like you said, now you're not as moved to want to be with her sexually. Because you know why? Because now she's got this bar set that now you have to prove that I'm all man and I'm going to give it to you like I gave it to you last time. So now she's like, if I don't get that same version of you, I don't want it. It's like, well, then we're not going to do it because I ain't got that to do.
You know, it's
taking away all, because see, intimacy and sexuality, the freedom of it is the joy of it. And if you know, like I know, when you've been with someone for years, I'm talking about decades or a lot of years, and y'all don't lose the desire to want to be in that space with each other, you have to sit back and be like, well, how did we still not lose this energy with each other? It's not that we have to do it. We don't have to demand on it.
Yeah.
If we are in this room, you know, and I know it's going to happen. And when you have that energy, you don't have that bar set, because what that bar setting is doing is it's killing the intimacy.
You know, it's funny that you say that. It's like, that's why the Bible or people tell you that you ain't supposed to have all these sex partners before you get married, because you got something to juxtapose it to, you know, and it's like you will be dealing with something from your woman's last relationship or 2-3 relationships ago, or a woman could be dealing something with a man's relationship from 2-3.
Right.
Because my ex-wife was a neat freak. I'm talking about after you brush your teeth, rinse the sink out and dry that motherfucker out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm serious. Like, why
Right.
is this sink wet? I'm like, it's a fucking sink. But if you dry it out, the little silver thing in there will always be shiny. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
your expectations. So when I got with my new wife, first thing I did was like, let me show you how I like the house clean. And I cleaned the house for the first year and a half, 2 years. You know,
Right.
just like, I'm training you now. This is how I like the house clean now. I'm training you now. I'm training the
Right.
boys like this is how I like the house clean. And so
Right.
you have these expectations. And it's funny because that's why they say you shouldn't have sex, because you start judging, oh, she don't suck my dick like this woman, or he don't fuck me like this, or he ain't as aggressive. I like it like this. And it's funny because when I first got with my wife and we first got married, her last boyfriend was a trucker.
Okay.
So she was used to him being on the road gone. So she was used to him when they saw each other, it was like, I miss you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Or he on the road gone, and like couples have problems. It's like, okay, you have a little argument, and when I see you, it's like, you're home in the truck. Let's make love in the truck or whatever. I miss you. Da 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 da. And so with me, I would find myself in situations where after we had a skirmish or discussion, she would kind of be trying to rub on me. I'm like, what are you doing? I say, hey, man, I'm not like that. I'm not like that.
Right.
You need to apologize. We need to fix this.
Right.
Sex don't fix shit with me.
Right. Right.
You're like, I've had so many situations with women, they were foul or did something wrong, and instead of apologizing when you lay down, they rub their ass on you. And I might fuck, I might fuck her. You give me just some free head. But tomorrow morning, I'm still like, we got an issue. So I remember telling my wife, I was like, I ain't with that. And then she told me, she was like, I like makeup sex. Right. I was like, well, I ain't with it. Then she explained to me why she liked makeup sex. I'm like, okay, well, I might try to do it. But the fact that I'm not going to make up sex because your ex did that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't me. So it's like these expectations that we have based on past experience carry over. So it's like, I feel like Lauryn Hill still walking in the shadow of that Marley boy. That girl was a good singer, had a great album. All of a sudden, she get with this Rastafarian motherfucker, and he, them niggas, they own they bitch hard. They don't while you're singing, I'm the Marley. My career should be better. Be a mother, be at home, and it's like this bitch seem like she batshit crazy, or like motherfucking Common Sense and Jay Electronica, different artists. They tell you they still got the remnants of Erykah Badu on them. You might have a nigga that was a hardcore rapper, and all of a sudden he started wearing fucking dashikis and incense and fucking rings because of her. So you still have the remnants or the dust from people on you. And when you bring that into your new situations, you know what I'm saying? Your wife is looking at you and she's really saying, this motherfucker don't provide for me like Steady B, or he don't fuck like him, or he don't do this like him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Yes. And before you know it, your ass is left and she ain't said a damn word.
But that's the part that men don't know, is that you actually asked your wife, why do you do this?
Yeah.
And she filled you in on what her turn on was. Because we as women have different variations of what turns us on based upon the man. Some men don't have to do nothing, and the turn on is automatic.
Yeah.
Depending upon your attraction to him, your longevity, your comfortability, how he treats you, how you guys flow, and your understanding of each other. So depending on those 5 versions of truth, some men don't require nothing. They're just going to get kissed on, hugged on. Some men, they'll come in the door and you'll see a woman like run and just jump in his arms. I mean, it just depends on the man. Yeah. And it depends on the, the engagement and how y'all flow. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of times where we mess up as women is we don't explain why we turn on about, like you said, we're in an argument we're in a disagreement and you jumping on me and rubbing your ass on me, that's not a turn on for me. But she never, but what I love that you did say is you told her. Problem with a lot of us women is we will have our turn-ons, but we don't explain to the man or the main or the person that we're in a long-term relationship with.
Yeah.
We don't explain certain things. See, when in my partnership, I let it known from the get-go. There's no days off for me, number one. And number two, we don't have no's here. So if you want it, we want it.
Yeah.
But again, let me explain why it is that with this particular partnership, because I have to be honest. It may not be that with everyone.
Yeah.
Let me explain why. There is a connection. There is a vibing. There is a understanding. We just have that connection or whatever. But again, we also have a sexual matching that we oftentimes don't talk about. When you have a sexual match, you don't have a lot of incorrectness going on in intimacy.
Yeah.
There was times when we would do it in the car. You're driving, I'm doing roadhead. We're doing all kinds of crazy shit. Like, what were we thinking? We weren't, but we had some fun. But again, I'm not thinking that has to be just for me to get excited about being intimate with you.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what we're going to do next, but all I know is it's going to be a next. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
like
have
you
that understanding. It's important.
Yeah, it and it's crazy because like what you were saying about the sexual attractiveness and the same type shit. That's why people don't understand how me and my wife could be open. People always say, well, why get married if you can be open, if you can sleep with each other, different people? And it's like, well, before I met her, I love the chase of a woman. It fucking drives me insane. I love talking to a woman, smoothing her, schmoozing her, as the young kids say, rizzing her up now. And she loved that being done to her. So I didn't have nothing to do with that before she met me, and she didn't have nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we're compatible as people.
You're wired together.
Yeah, exactly. And I be trying to tell people
matching and a sexual matching.
Exactly.
And you are best friends.
Exactly. Stop trying to judge something.
But not everybody's wired that way.
Yeah, exactly. But whether you're wired for polygamy, monogamy, meogamy, or what,
right?
Stop judging other people's lives on your life, what you can and cannot do, and live your life and do what's best for you. I'm so against monogamy, but I'm not on a fucking monogamy is wrong thing. It's like I grew up and people that were Christians, I was in a Christian church, and it's like, why y'all always talking about fucking Muslims and Buddhists? Be a fucking Christian. Every Sunday, Muslim, Allah can't save you. Buddha can't save you. All these other religions can't save you. Nigga, shut the fuck up. If you say Jesus is the way, talk about Jesus. So I always say nobody knows more about polygamy than a single woman with no man who says she wouldn't do it. You see what I'm saying? I'm not interested in certain things. So when it's all said and done,
behavior doesn't get you into the gates of heaven or hell, if we're honest.
Exactly, like that old saying.
When we really look at sexual behavior, we realize that, man, the power of it is. Michael Jackson taught us early that it's human nature.
Yeah.
And I brought that up to my partner today. I'm like, you remember Michael Jackson wrote the whole song.
Why?
Tell him that is human.
Tell him that is like, human nature. Why?
Yes.
Why did you do me that way?
Right. So it's like it was so crystal clear. Michael was before his time, baby. We know what it is.
But hey, look, Michael had some that PYP pretty young thing. Michael had a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like going on.
But what I want to say about sexuality and the power of it is, when we really look at it, Kirk Franklin, I've been watching and studying his stuff recently too, because I'm always studying and learning.
Yeah, Kirk
And I
growing on
love
me.
what I've come to realize is there's a new love I have for Kirk Franklin, not based upon religion or nothing like
Miss
that.
Carla, you love me now. What did I do?
But I love that he brought something up powerful. He said, most men's first try at monogamy is marriage.
Yeah.
That was fucking delicious for me.
It is.
And the reason why it was delicious is because this is one of the things that women never give, which is grace to allowing a man to being monogamous or not being.
Yeah.
Monogamy gives that man the range, because there could be ranges where, hey, I might be your sibling this week. Hey, I might be the woman that, I might be your person that has to make the reservations for you. Yeah. I might be the woman that's cleaning and cooking for you. I might be the woman that's tearing it up every night for a while.
Yeah.
So can I be in those variations without being stamped as just that variation? Or are you cool with me evolving into different versions of who I am to you on a regular basis? And then in those variations, can we expand it? Or do we have to stay in this one version of what we are? This is why I keep telling you that the openness about love affairs and marriage, or whatever you're doing in your love affair, it really comes to bringing you to usually monogamy, not because of a reason of, well, I have to do this because it's right. No, it becomes that because after a while, like you just said, man, I've evolved to where intimacy is now something different.
Yeah, it's funny how, on the topic of she left and gave up the fantasy in the book, she left regardless. It's like, I feel like women weaponize their unhappiness by not talking. It's been happened to me so many times in relationship, especially in my last relationship before Chris. Is like, and even with my wife, it's like, I'm not gonna say what's wrong with me, but I'm gonna walk around with my lip poked out. And as a man, you find yourself not knowing what's wrong. You can't figure it out, but you're just trying to do some motherfucking nice to make her not be such a bitch. And women will find that, okay, well, he's bringing me food home to keep me from being a bitch today. He's letting me shop. And it's like they weaponize it. It's like they don't tell you what's going on with them, but they control you with their negative attitude, with that stank behavior. And that's what I want to talk to men. And I tell men all the time, if that woman is acting stank a certain amount of way, and you know what her stank is, you have to nip that in the bud. You have to approach her, because it's kind of like one of the funniest things I ever heard, but it's so true. And I know Tina Turner's telling a motherfucking lie about Ike Turner, because I know human nature. I watched the interview with Ike Turner and Barbara Walters. He said Tina lying about all that extra shit. She said, and I know he ain't lying, because a publicist or somebody should have told him this ain't the right thing to say. So I know he telling the truth. He just an old country nigga telling the truth. That bitch lying.
Right.
She said, "Did you used to hit Tina?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "How you do it?" He said, "I used to smack the shit out of her." He said, "Why?" This motherfucker said, "No particular reason. She would just walk around." I said, "Anna, what's wrong with you?" She said, "Nothing." And after a couple of days with her lip poked out, I said, "Anna, what's wrong with you?" She said, "Nothing." He said, "I slapped the shit out of her and she'll be back regular." That man wasn't supposed to say that. He told his real truth. Every man know in real life when a woman, and every woman know when she walk around and, for lack of a better saying, with her lip poked out, pouting, and you asking her what's wrong with her, what's wrong with her, what's wrong with her, she don't tell you. Sometimes you can bend her ass over on the stove and fuck the shit out of her and she get back right. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you can take her out to eat, and she get back right. But what it is, she's controlling you with her lip poked out. So when that man said, I ain't hit her for nothing other than her acting like a bitch every now and then, I had to reset her ass. He was not supposed to say that.
No, not on the air. No.
Yeah, that
was not supposed to be said.
Ike, you supposed to have a specific time. She left the kids outside. You know what I'm saying?
But I will say this, Javon. There are attitude adjustments that sometimes need to be made. Now, I'm not someone, I'm anti-domestic violence. But I will say this. I understand that sometimes sometimes sex is necessary to change a woman's attitude.
Yeah.
Sometimes coming to a new understanding and awareness has to be done. Sometimes chastisement. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to beat someone or
yeah.
But sometimes chastisement on either side has to be done to adjust the attitude.
Yeah.
And no one talks about this because most of the time it doesn't sound good. But I don't give a damn. I confront. You know me. I don't give a damn if people feel one way or another. I'm going to keep it raw about what it is. The truth of the matter is there's some women that need attitude adjustments. There are certain women that has to have adjustments, and they have to get that man to do a little bit of, we laugh about it, but you know how some women will be like, I just want to go to the park and I want him just to throw me down on the sand and give it to me raw and hard and all this. Some women need that because unfortunately there's something inside of her shadow self that isn't being dealt with. I'm gonna let that simmer.
Yeah.
Sometimes in a woman's shadow self, something isn't being dealt with. And so when she has these emotional outbursts, attitudes, disdain, she gets like loopy, or she gets kind of argumentative, or she gets quick-tempered. Sometimes it's because her shadow self is surfacing in her living soul. When her shadow self is surfacing into her living soul, there's something inside of her that is out of balance. Sometimes exchange of sexual energy does in fact improve that.
Yeah.
And it's just truth. I just told you earlier, Michael Jackson
they said all the time, hey, she just needs some dick, man. She just needs some dick, man.
Michael said it.
She needs to be rough fucked.
Nature. Yes.
But let me ask you something, because this is something that I tell men all the time. And I'm a motherfucking proponent for divorcing a motherfucker if shit ain't right. I'm not a nigga to hey, work that shit out. It's like, this is what I believe. And I want you to tell me this. I think most women end up with a man out of desperation, not with somebody they really want or not compatible to. And they already know they never going to listen to this motherfucker. I'm never going to let him, like you say, attitude adjust me, whether it's shopping, buying. I think when most women, say for example, my wife, I wasn't her type, meaning, college educated man, I was handsome to her. But if a woman ain't scared to lose a man, he's fucked. What do you think about that? Because we're talking about all this attitude adjustments and shit like that. If this woman not scared to lose you, you're fucked.
I agree 100%. And let me explain why. Because I always come.
And let me say this real quick. And I mean to enter. When I said you're fucked, that means you're not going to get sex when you want. You're going to get attitude. You're going to walk around on eggshells. Your entire marriage, you are going to be trying to make this woman happy. You're fucked. And she already know who she will and won't listen to. Am I correct or not? What do you think about that?
Well, what I was going to say is this is powerful that you brought this up, because this is something that I'm already in the mood tonight to talk about. There's certain pedigrees of men that will get a certain version of me that no other man will get on the planet.
That's exactly what I mean.
And that version of me is that version of me to be the most willing to work with you,
Yeah.
the most willing to care about you, even in your flaws, even when you're difficult, even when you're angry, even when you're not my favorite at the time. I will give you more of me because of the pedigree of man you are. However, let me also explain I had to do a lot of inner work to never feel in competition with any other female. It took a long time to get here. So now, any man that interested in or desire or want to be with, when he is at his highest level of self, so he's at his highest esteem,
Yeah.
he's in his highest confidence, highest purpose, highest visionary, highest as far as, and I'm not talking about money because that's not my concern.
Yeah.
His highest esteem of who he is as a man in his living soul. When he's at his highest level, that's going to be my most moved by him.
Yeah.
And so now a man will receive me to the highest degree in my esteem. But no woman, I don't care what woman it is, if she doesn't see herself as your equal, and I'm talking about even her equal as being desired
Yeah.
out here by other men. Because no man wants a woman that's not desired by other men. They don't. They're not interested in her at all.
So you're saying a woman is more palatable, more bendable,
Yes.
based on the caliber of man you are,
Yes.
and it's already
Already.
ingrained in her mind, no different than you said, you thinking the handsome guy gonna treat you right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you already say, if he ain't this type of man, I ain't listening. It's funny because Chris said something. She said, you were not my type, but you were a great guy, which made me value the relationship. You know what I'm saying? She said, like, I'm life whipped. Yeah. I do know as a man, there are certain things that I brought to the table that a woman that was hard educated, blah, 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 blah. All that bullshit is bullshit. But I know the fact that I was willing to be a father had to do a lot with shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no stupid motherfucker now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not stupid. So right. I believe there were times in our relationship early on that she was palatable and mendable because it was like, hey, part of me was saying, okay, we're growing together, but we're growing with these boys. So I was always, even before we got together, hanging out, I would pick the kids up from school. They would be with me. So it would always be like a situation where at some point there was always a disagreement about how I thought to raise the kids. And she said, you got me in boot camp. Well, the fact that she said she was in boot camp was saying it was hard and she was going to stay in it. So the point I'm making is,
so
let me finish real quick. Oh, go ahead.
I want to interject just real quick with what she said to you is basically the same thing that I was saying, is that you moved her to want to be at her highest esteem.
Yeah.
But it takes a certain man to bring you to that. All men will not make Christina or Chris be moved to that. I don't give a damn what man it is. It takes a certain man to bring her to that high esteem.
So that goes back to my point. If a woman ain't afraid to lose you, you're fucked.
Right.
It's absolutely nothing you can do.
Right. Well, let's put it this way. We'll just say, as a rich man, right? No rich, wealthy man wants to lose his mansion. He doesn't want to lose his Lambos. He doesn't want to lose certain things. Mm-hmm. They have a certain level of esteem to him that he's not willing to lose. Or he has a high insurance on it that if he does lose it, he can do what? Replace it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's the same thinking in a woman's mind. If I am a woman that is partnered, in love with, sharing life with or in this thing together with someone, I got to make sure damn well that he's high value.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about what
I know what you
everybody's
mean.
commenting about. I want a high value man. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about he has to have a high value in Carla stock.
You know what? It's crazy because I tell my sons this, and I don't speak this out loud, but I'm gonna say it tonight. When I tell men in my group, I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is how I have to say it, and this is how a man won't be a punk, a simp, date on your level, all that. Bottom line, it's kind of like you can't give a fuck about no motherfucking woman because she don't give a fuck about you. She's using you. So the best thing you can do as a man is be your motherfucking self and do your purpose and do your plan. And if that shit don't work, throw her ass away. I don't give a fuck about no motherfucking woman's feelings. I promise I don't. I love my wife with everything in me and I'll do anything for her. But I know from the beginning, since the beginning of time, you're listening to me because you're afraid to lose me. I'm that valuable to you. It's not my charm. It's nothing. I'm that valuable to you. You're a single mother. I could be a father. I could erase certain things. I have certain assets, and on the vice versa. She's valuable to me.
Absolutely.
So it's like all that other bullshit. It's like literally, I tell my sons, listen, man, this woman is using you. I promise you. She's using you.
Right.
But it's not a bad thing. A man is in love. A woman is in business. She's make a business decision for her life. So what I'm saying is, if you go out here trying to make this woman happy, you're going to drive yourself crazy because she's using you, nigga. She don't like you like that. Yeah.
It's not your job to make me happy.
So, and that's what I used to always tell Chris. I create my own happiness.
Yes.
And she would be like, such and such. I would say, do your fucking duty.
Absolutely.
Do your duty. I'm not looking for you to make me happy. Do your duty. I'm with you because you have purpose. I'm with you because of your heart, who you are. I'm with you because you're palatable. I'm not with you to be fucking happy and smiling. I can play the video game. I don't play video games. I can go see Sue Ann, Mary Ellen. I can make a beat. I can do anything to bring myself some happiness.
Right.
Duty. So what I'm simply saying is, and I know it sounds harsh, but it's not harsh. It's saying, black man, if this woman is with you and she's not afraid to lose you, she gonna run you ragged. So don't even try.
And this is
all
what
that shit.
I need to hear from what you're saying, which is a part of why I said it also in the book.
But can you reinterpret that for women of what I'm saying? Because I don't want women to take it harsh. Can you reinterpret? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
From a honest woman's point of view. Reinterpret it what I just said.
From an honest woman's point of view, what you're saying is it's vitally important that women understand it is not a man's job to take care of her happiness at all. That's not a man's job. Matter of fact, the real truth of the matter within the confines of a love affair is it is your job to be focused on your purpose. So what's really true, and I say this every show, and I try to avoid it, but I can't. Every show I bring this up because it has to be said. A man can be your confidant, can be your lover, can be your husband, can be your partner, can be all of those things, and still fall short to really giving you full, honest, true happiness in your spirit. Because the only true happiness in your spirit is your wholesome of purpose. Understanding your existence and why you're here, and then having gratitude for why you're here. Those are essential, period. But here's what's even more important. When you have a match or when you're with a man that really actually says, okay, we already are in this together. We pretty much know what we are. And you establish this early. See, one of the things that you show and reflect a lot, you talk about how much you and Chris converse about certain things and where you are, how y'all, I believe you guys do a lot of conversation on checking in, and you're not just,
Yeah, you have to.
and I feel like you don't just assume,
Mm-mm.
Chris. You learn her every day and you understand and always say, this is a privilege that she's here.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that I am in gratitude for. And so when you have that attitude of gratitude, you realize, like, you know what? She could go and say, you know, I don't want to do this no more.
Yeah.
And guess what? If she did do that, and I know it's out of a space of she'll feel better than what she is with me, I'll give her the freedom to do that.
Of course.
However, I'm not worried about it.
No.
Because I'm up on my A game about being wholesome in
Yes.
my honor and authenticity of self. And you also have a tendency to be honest with you in your sexual truth, in your social truth, in what you need, and understanding how, well, you know, I'm falling short today, but at this point, let me just let Chris know, you ain't going to get that version of Javon today. I'm not coming today on that level. So
it's funny because the tables turn and you flip and shit gets flipped because your value changes in a relationship, especially when you have different purpose. You know what I'm saying? At one time you might meet a man and you in nursing school and you like him, but he gonna put you through nursing school. So his money is your value. You know what I'm saying? It's very valuable. And then all of a sudden you get your degree, you make $80,000-$90,000 a year. His money is not as valuable.
right.
Now his value needs to be reassessed. Can you reinvent your value? That's what I always say.
Yes.
And like, I'm at a point in my life now where I understand how Chris would be afraid to lose me as a father figure, because she is such a wonderful, loving, caring, nurturing mother. It's like nobody could make the mother that she is to my child. Is like, oh no, you do what the fuck you want to do. You can bring a nigga, he can sleep on the deck. You can put the nigga in the other room. I don't give a fuck what you do. The value of you has multiplied and it's changed. You know what I'm saying? So
and
it's
you should allow the change. And
yeah,
I feel
exactly.
like how you're describing the change is the delicious part of the change. But
And
again, a lot of times we don't talk about that because it's not out here being brought up or
and it needs to be expressed. Like
it needs to be expressed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your value and be able to express it in a way, because sometimes when a person's value change, they want to be this, they want to be that. Jokingly, I remember one day telling Chris, I was like, and I might have said this before, I was like such and such, and she was talking about this woman. I was like, yeah, she got some good pussy. I'd pay for that pussy if me and her stopped talking. And she was like, what about me? I was like, nah, I wouldn't pay for your pussy. And she was like, for real? I was like, no, like her pussy is paid for. And she was kind of like, damn, I wish my pussy was good enough to pay for. And I was like, but that's not valuable to me. I dumped that bitch yesterday. Like that's not valuable to me. It's like, so sometimes we have to explain, we want to be our value to be this when your value is that. And you have to be open and honest, because the truth will always set free. The truth will always be set free, because not only will it sustains, because of course that feels funny at some point where you say, you know what, I think the only reason you put up with me is because I'm a good father. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like, then it gets to the point where the kid's gone, they out the house, and it's like, I'm life whipped, and I see, oh, it was the purpose too. So you get to see more things, and you got to explain. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes you want to be this best sex person, and you're not the best sex person. Sometimes you ain't gonna be the best listener.
You're not.
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
Gonna evolve. It's going to change, and then, but the question that I think we need to always remember to ask is, whatever version of person I am in your life, will you ever just want to just not have me at all?
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part to stomach, is that a lot of times people can't admit that if you're not this version to me, I can't be with you. And then there's some people that you're like, you know what? Any version of you, I welcome and want in my life at all times. I don't want to lose any of it. It just depends.
And let me say this before we get out of here, because I got to go to work.
Right.
A lot of times women don't understand this, and it's sad. Everything ain't fair. It's just like women's job never stop. Women are doing more daily, but men, when we do it, our job is hard. You cut the grass once a week, but you might do this. Long story short, never change David Ruffin. I never changed one single grain of sand. Betty Wright said, I was learning my man while I was earning my man.
Oh, yeah.
In a relationship, as sad as unfair as women think it is, if you're with a man that you trust his leadership and his purpose, and your purpose is tied to him, you're going to change for him more than he changed for you. And so in a relationship, as a woman, if you're with a man that you really love, care about, and is treating you correctly, and then committed to you, guess what you're going to always say? I feel like I'm dying to myself. I'm losing myself. That's exactly what you're doing, because that self that you were before, that shit never motherfucking worked and was never successful. So you're with something, and that's why you're staying with it. I'm losing myself. I'm fearful. I'm not the same bitch I used to be. I'll listen to you. I'm scared to lose you. Fellas, if she ain't scared to lose you, you might as well pack it the fuck up. You are going to be miserable forever, and then she's going to leave you all of a sudden. Wrap it up for us, Miss Carla.
And I also want to add to that is that let's not forget, gentlemen, that some men don't know this skinny, but a lot of women don't want to think.
Of course,
they want a man because they want a man to do all the thinking for them. They have no desire to want to think, so they want to lazy their mind. The only real reason they want a man is so they can lazy their mind and you can do all the thinking. Problem is, when you have a non-thinking woman, you usually have a woman that is she's underdeveloped on so many levels and layers.
Yeah.
And in the book, she left anyways. I explained to men that don't get so caught up in the fact that you are into this woman and you think everything's going to go fine, because it isn't. There are times when the rules change. I want men aware that the rules will change on you and you don't see it coming. Many women like lazy minds. They don't want to have to think. This is the whole reason they want a man so bad. This is the whole reason why they want to act like they're really into sex when they're not.
Damsel in distress. Yeah.
They're selling you marriage because they want you to finally commit so they can start telling you no, so they can lazy their mind and they don't have to think.
Yeah, that's funny. Before we get out of here, I used to always tell Chris when I met her, and women in general, and they would be telling us, I said, what happened? That. What happened? Well, it was okay, and you got there. Well, do you know any detail? I used to always say, you got a lazy ass mind. Most women got a lazy mind. It's funny because I say, when my wife with me, her mind turn off, and I like the fact that she can turn her mind off for everything other than finances. Her mind is always on working them finances. Like she said, women check the bank account every day. However, man, me and my wife, before we got here, we walking in the neighborhood. She like the guy hit by a car because she with me. In the parking lot because she with me. I got to grab her. It's like if I start walking, she just with me. I hop out the car. You on a different side. You got to look at what's coming your way. If I hop out, she hop out. So it's like I understand that, and that's really something that we give each other, and that's why we're so compatible. But at the end of the day, Miss Carla, we're gonna have to finish up on this one. I really like it, and it's a good lesson to go with your book. And we're going to have to develop some courses, you know what I'm saying, on your book and My Bears and Bubbles. And we already got shit like that going. But y'all stay tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Yeah. Monday, me and Chris, my wife, Marriage Mondays, Tuesdays, Tough Talk Tuesdays with my homeboy Trav P, and Wednesdays, Ranting and Raving conversations with me and Miss Carla. I appreciate y'all.
And don't forget to get that book.
Don't forget to get that book.
She left anyways. It's
She left
very important.
anyways.
Women too. Y'all
You
women
already know it, because women understand what they need to do to not leave or to be a little bit more palatable. We appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Good night.